Jay-Z's success is real in many ways. One of the biggest and most significant ways is his record sales. With number one hits and multi-platinum album sales, he is the most successful hip-hop artist in the flood of hip-hop artists that began his career in the 1990s. His album sales are a forerunner in defining his dominance of the hip-hop market, as they have provided a hypnotizing atmosphere with his gritty and hard-hitting lyrics, and his more casual and playful love songs. No matter what he has done on a record, it seems to entertain the masses. This dirty and clean image, magnitude of album sales is unrivaled. This is solidified round the way with his 10 number one albums, a record for a solo artist. His inventiveness within the music industry can also be seen as a success. He was one of the first hip-hop artists to define the success of collaborations between pop and hip-hop artists. Songs with Mariah Carey and even more harmonious tracks with rock bands like U2 have shown the extent of Jay-Z's influence in music. The influence and success of Jay-Z in hip-hop is an analytical essay that investigates the significance of hip-hop icon Jay-Z or Sean Carter in the entertainment industry. It provides a sound insight into the successful journey that he has undertaken to become a prominent figure within the music business. Since 1996, when Jay-Z first debuted into the music scene, he has seen many trying times and many accomplishments. In this essay, I will sum up the hardships and positive aspects that he has encountered and how they have shaped his life to become the entertainment entrepreneur for the 21st century. Careers develop over a course of time. It begins at the ground level and then slowly progresses into something enjoyable if the person is determined enough to see it to the end. Jay-Z's career is no different. He has overcome more obstacles than some rappers trying to obtain a successful record deal. The most interesting aspect of Jay-Z's success is his early life, as it's the most influential on his career and to an extent on hip-hop today. Jay-Z, born Sean Carter, was raised in the massive projects in Brooklyn along with his 3 siblings. By the age of 12, he shot his own brother in the shoulder for stealing his jewelry. Notably, this has been an influence for the beef he describes over the song You Must Love Me On in My Lifetime, Vol. 1. He claims that the shooting was a warning for his brother to stop stealing and would have never forgiven himself if his brother had been killed. As a youth, Carter admits that he was a very to himself, unsure of how to fit in and who to trust. In the music track December 4th, Jay-Z describes his difficult times. Unlike the child prodigy, my Mobb Deep was having a havoc, and me my music's 20/20. The ups and downs, it made me a better man. It's all planned, and my failures, I used to run. It's a music in my head and my head's a rock jam. Indicated that situation, and his determination to keep moving forward are what fuel his career in music today. Sean Corey Carter was born on December 4, 1969 in the Bedford-Stuyvesant neighborhood of Brooklyn, New York. Individuals at a young age found that he was destined for a life of hustle and success. Jay-Z believed that he was capable of achieving anything and had an innate confidence in himself as early as age 4. He was a silly child, and it was not until his father abandoned him that he adopted the stern persona that he exhibits now. The sudden, tragic loss of his father due to being a victim of a stabbing at the young age of 11 had a profound effect on Jay-Z. He expanded the tough exterior, which he uses as a defense mechanism to keep people at a distance. Around this time, he attended Whitney High School in Brooklyn, where he was a classmate of the soon-to-be mafia boss from Junior Mafia, Lil Sis. The young Jay-Z is also noted to have been a strong student, but he developed a disdain for authority, calling his childhood the usual. I didn't get into mad trouble. I was a good kid, but I was growing up in Brooklyn and I saw shit. My mom made sure that I didn't see too much, but you can't stop a city. You can't stop life from happening. He also played the role of the protagonist in the school play Annie. This would not be the first time he'd played the role of a good guy turning bad. In his spare time, Jay-Z would freestyle, a talent that would later become his meal ticket. Although he had a passion for music, Jay-Z dreamed of playing in the NBA. His love for basketball is still ever present. Jay-Z also claims that he was a better pool player than rapper at this time. I could have sold 1 million records or better give it up. Then thrive and start living it up. Hey, live and what? Hustling is a powerful urban jargon word that has a different meaning from the rest. Its definition in the dictionary is to gain by energetic effort, but the connotation linked with the street culture has a way more embedded and gritty meaning. Jay-Z has been repeatedly crowned King of the Hustlers, a title he wears with pride and dignity. His hustling began in his teenage years, and it was his introduction to the world of business, albeit illegal. Jay-Z grew up around Jaz-O, a local MC who was the first to truly show him the ropes of the rap game and whom Jay-Z would later pay homage to in his music. Jaz was a big influence on Jay-Z for the man he did not want to become, and it was during an incident where Jaz-O got out of trouble by means of Jay-Z taking the rap that Jaz decided that he did not want the same fate for his young protege and thus gave Jay-Z a plane ticket to get out the streets. This incident was just one example of Jay-Z's early business mentality, in a sense that he would do anything to maximize potential for himself or Roc-A-Fella, albeit in a foolish adolescent manner. To better understand what Roc-A-Fella is and what it represented to Jay-Z the artist, businessman, one must go back to a time before it was a multi-million-dollar company, back to a time when the idea was a seed spawning in the mind of Jay-Z before Roc-A-Fella. Jay was an MC trying to catch his break in an industry that had yet to do any justice to the story of Jay-Z having left the major record companies in pursuit of artistic freedom. He began to make music with Diamond Dash and Kareem Biggs Burke. The three of them would sit in meetings and conferences concerning the future of their music, all too often to be disappointed at the outcome. Stemming from the frustration of not receiving a fair shake in the industry, the three men sought to carve out their own niche through their music. Combining funds from each of their own respective hustles, they managed to scrounge up a few $1,000s to produce a compilation that would feature various artists from the industry. Calling up on favors from friends in high places, the compilation was soon blessed with artists such as the Notorious Big and DMX, just to name a few. Unfortunately, due to lack of skill in the business, the compilation was shelved and the three men were left once again back at square one. Arguably one of his most impressive ways of whitewashing the drug dealer turned multi-millionaire image out of public discourse is through his entrepreneurial ventures. The most talked about of them is his clothing line Roc-A-Wear, which has been in existence since 1999 and has grown to gross a staggering $700 million in annual sales. However, Jay-Z also has a very diverse investment portfolio, one which has seen him invest in Keith Murray's Next Best Thing series, a boxing reality TV show, a sneaker retail outlet named Platinum Sneakers, a beauty parlor, a stake in the New Jersey Nets, and the relaunch of his newly acquired alcohol brand Armadale Vodka. Clearly, Jay-Z has been successful in steering his business interests away from unlawful activity and in creating a whole new legacy for himself. Jay-Z's mark in high-end fashion is apparent through his business dealings. In addition to his numerous ventures, Jay-Z had a very lucrative collaboration with Reebok in 2003, which saw him design his own signature collection. However, the watershed moment was in 2005 when he famously became a part owner of the elite clothing line Roc-A-Wear by purchasing the final 50% of the company. One of Jay-Z's most loyal friends and business associates, Diamond Dash, co-founded the line, and it has grown to be at the forefront of youth fashion, epitomizing the inner city vibe through linking music, fashion, and urban culture. Jay-Z has since set his sights on breaking into the fragrance market. He launched his own cologne brand 9IX in a joint venture with the department store chain Kmart, and has a very real ambition to outsource an accompanying fragrance for Roc-A-Wear. Entrepreneurial ventures, obviously corporate, are another manner Jay-Z has grown his influence on hip-hop culture. Jay-Z was once half owner of the ultra-premium vodka, Armadale. He sold his share back to the company in early 2007. Armadale has been mentioned in many rap songs, mostly by Dipset and Jay-Z. Armadale is known as a very strong, upscale brand of vodka, and by Jay-Z being an owner of it, it is far more available to blow up. The deal was not the most successful for Jay-Z, but in December of 2007, he signed a $150 million deal with Live Nation to form Roc Nation, which will be a talent-based organization. So far, $10 million of the money has been used to purchase the right to his recorded music. The rest of the money will go into the company, and over a 10-year span, Jay-Z will be paid more money to go on tour, use his name, and distribute his music. This deal comes after the presidency of Def Jam, where Jay-Z furthered the careers of many major artists and used his executive power to help close friends DMX and Ja Rule escape career-damaging feuds with the company. It was not until Jay-Z's 2001 album The Blueprint where he collaborated with the luxury brand Gucci, and the company became the staple wardrobe in the hip-hop game. He rapped about it, and he made Gucci popular in the hip-hop community. His influence on fashion can also be seen in his spending trends on clothing and lifestyles, which he often references in his music. He didn't just buy jerseys, he bought tailored designer suits. He began wearing cufflinks. It was obvious that Jay-Z was no longer the average rapper. As Jay-Z grew in success, his dress sense evolved and steered away from street attire to a more executive, businessman look, in which other hip-hop artists such as Nas reflected on and eventually followed suit. Fashion has always been a significant part of lifestyle, and Jay-Z's influence on the fashion world is unquestioned. With Jay-Z emerging as a celebrity in the late 1990s, it gave him the ability to fuse music and fashion into a highly influential culture of its own. In many ways, he's a pivotal figure in fashion in the 21st century. Something is happening where hip-hop should be much more recognized in the world, and Jay-Z reflects that. When I look back on this era, I think he symbolizes it. Jay-Z began in the early 1990s as most hip-hop artists did, emulating and trying to obtain the intrinsic markers of success by essentially desiring what everyone else had. In the beginning with Marcy, we were all wearing big gold chains, heavy medallions, and the whole b-boy look, baggy jeans, sneakers, and a hoodie. Businesses that tie into an artist's music often produce mediocre results. This is not the case with Jay-Z and his business ventures. Jay-Z has had his hand in several businesses that act as a complement to his music career and elevate his brand. Jay-Z has had business partnerships with several technology companies, co-created the top-shelf cognac dust, and purchased the music streaming service Tidal. Jay-Z has had two partnerships that have produced successful companies in the technology industry. The first when he was president and CEO of Def Jam. Jay-Z spearheaded a sneaker deal with Reebok in 2003 that allowed him to get a signature shoe and resulted in the S. Carter collection, which Reebok reported as the highest seller for a non-athlete in Reebok history. Jay-Z's second deal was with Hewlett-Packard for a $300 million partnership in 2010 to start the company called Packwood Top Entertainment. This deal resulted in a multi-year multimedia deal to develop new projects with and for HP's imaging and printing group. The first project from the partnership was the Jay-Z Decoded Book, which was a literacy campaign where fans could use their smartphone to decode the pages from Jay-Z's book placed on various landmarks all over the world. The code was an interactive map on Bing where users could read the book and watch it come to life via the map. This project was received with high praise. The book itself was a New York Times bestseller, and it won a Bronze Lion in the Cannes International Festival of Creativity. Hey rap fans, hip-hop is dead, or at least in a creative slump today. The industry is suffering from troubling collegiate development programs and the rising cost of living in urban America. Things like after-school music class and the purchase of instruments are becoming a rarity to public school systems. With no cash flow, these programs and inner-city community centers are being phased out, whereas it was a safe haven for hip-hop artists of the old. Feelings of nostalgia compelled Jay-Z to keep the Jigga Man stage name alive and partake in preserving hip-hop culture. Building on the ATEP's mission to help erase poverty in urban America, he has recently used the S. Carter collection as a corporate sponsor for the non-profit organization. A portion of proceeds from special product sales will be pooled to support the ATEP's various campaigns and provide assistance for their new global initiative. By 2003, Jay-Z had employed proof of his brand's far-reaching influence to broaden his Queens County ghetto mentality to overseas neighborhoods in the Kingdom of Africa, annually providing tents and mobile medical care in shantytowns. His outreach has made hoofprints in Angola and South Africa, furthering his global footprint. The Sean Carter Scholarship Fund rates very highly in Jay-Z's list of charitable endeavors, providing tuition for those less fortunate. The fund helps high school students avoid dropping out due to financial strain. It is widely known that the Black community is a target demographic in Jay-Z's brand of marketing and high-risk business ventures. The minority representation statistics in college and university are disproportionate to the amount of high school graduates entering post-secondary in North America. This is due mostly to poverty and underprivileged social upbringing. High school valedictorians from underprivileged inner-city neighborhoods are selected as candidates for the scholarship, an act Jay-Z hopes will motivate them to set an example in their community. In order for Jay-Z to gain a larger fan base, however, he needed to evolve from this drug-dealing past and create music with a more positive and relatable message without abandoning his core audience and losing credibility. Jay-Z overcame this challenge by slowly altering his content over time as he was altering his own lifestyle. This change can be seen through his choice of singles for albums. On his early albums, Jay-Z might release a single such as City Is Mine that describes his ideal future with flashy cars and a high status, while on his more recent albums, that status has been achieved and Jay is sending the message to others that they can do what he has done, with a single such as Show Me What You Got. This change can also be seen by Jay-Z's increased involvement in political situations and other relevant global issues. During his early career, it is likely Jay-Z would not have gotten involved in a high-profile feud with a congressman as he did during his retirement after the release of the BP 2. All of these changes in Jay-Z's content show his fans that he has matured and moved forward to a place they might want to be, while still retaining a sense of authenticity and not biting at popular rap trends to stay in the public eye. In order for Jay-Z to amass a large loyal fan base, he needed to first gain a level of trust and understanding from new listeners. This is something that Jay-Z was able to gain through authenticity. After his decade on the street, hustling to make a living, Jay-Z had a handful of diary-like notebooks containing lyrics that told an honest story about his experiences and feelings at the time. Because these journal entries were so personal to Jay-Z, they were often written in metaphor as a way of hiding his true feelings from anyone who may read them and take them the wrong way. It's this era of Jay-Z's life and music that has managed to gain him a strong connection and sense of relatability with his fans for years to come. Jay-Z's debut album, Reasonable Doubt, was largely based upon the life that he had written about in his journals, and although it didn't receive commercial success because it was too similar to other mafioso rap at the time, it gained a cult-like following afterwards, as newer fans could realize the personal touch in each of Jay's lyrics about the life he once lived. This public persona has always been backed up with content that accurately reflects the time and place it was created. Jay-Z has never been one to dwell on the intricacies of the social or political environment, but it is difficult to find any one of his songs that does not contain a few lines summarizing his opinion on the current state of hip-hop. From Reasonable Doubt's critique of early 90s New York rap, to his championing of the throwback Jersey era in the late 90s divided by early 2000s, and now his disapproval of the hipsters movement in Onto the Next One. Similarly, each album represents a snapshot of Jay-Z's life and state of mind at the time, from the youthful exuberance of Vol. 2 to the introspective cameos of his retirement period, and the varied subject matter of his recent work. Through it all, Jay-Z has been successful doing what many other rappers can only do for a short period, that is maintaining mainstream relevance while staying true to himself and without compromising the elements that brought him popularity in the first place. The concept of authenticity lies at the heart of hip-hop culture. No matter how large or small the pool of success, every rapper has to define and then redefine his or her understanding of what it means to be authentic. Jay-Z's status as one of the most successful hip-hop artists of all time, both commercially and artistically, provides an excellent example of the way authenticity and success can be intertwined. There are a few exceptions to Jay-Z's consistent presentation of himself as a street corner hustler turned microphone controller and businessman. His compelling rags to riches life story, paired with an unforgettably cool demeanor and sharp verbal wit, has created a personality with cross-generational appeal and staying power. By maintaining this character for well over a decade, Jay-Z remained important to both older hip-hop heads who lament the commercialization of hip-hop and newer fans who know only the corporate icon. Of all his attributes, versatility may in fact be the key to Jay-Z's success as an artist and businessman. His ability to diversify not only his product but also his style and appeal has helped him remain relevant in a fickle market. Jay-Z broke into the industry as a brash, young hustler from Brooklyn armed with impeccable rhyming skills. He delivered his content with wit and arrogance in a time where gum-chewing, shiny suit rappers were taking over the mainstream. Though the release of The Blueprint is where Jay-Z truly asserted himself as a leader in the hip-hop world, its theme and musical direction was a departure from his usual fantastical coke rap. It may have been the onset of his beef with Nas, but Jay-Z's venture into a more soulful sound was widely accepted though fairly shocking. The largely successful battle with Nas saw the release of another album, The Blueprint 2, which showcased Jay's ability to sift through various styles of hip-hop and still remain very relevant. This album was essentially a display of double-time East Coast lyricism with hits like Show You How alongside with more contemporary tracks like HOVA. The very eclectic content of this double album was mirrored in his next project, which was released in tandem with his farewell tour, The Black Album. This would be the so-called end of an era for hip-hop as we know it and Jay-Z as a solo artist. With Jay-Z's established presence in the game, collaboration has been an essential component in maintaining relevancy in hip-hop. One key point made by Jay-Z is his heavy involvement in the music, fashion, and entertainment industry. He noted how he would provide opportunities in other ventures and industries for anyone involved in the music side of things, adding value to the relationship with artists and producers. He was quoted saying, "I will push you there. You will be in meetings and people will say they want to do this and that, and the conversation will be about you." This is evident in how Jay-Z has put many artists in a more lucrative position through endorsements, advertising, and partnership deals. Whether the relationship has been a solo joint, an album, or work as an executive or CEO, Jay-Z's collaborations have been a beneficial steady income for many, setting him as an influential figure in many of those around him and supplying him with the respect and workmanship to push forward with future plans. It is common knowledge of the Roc-A-Fella breakup, which has been an event well documented throughout hip-hop. This relates to Jay-Z's ability to move forward and how the industry and label politics behind it can affect friendships and business relationships. The breakup was, in essence, a war for signees and producers. After an interview with Kanye West on Funkmaster Flex's Hot 97 radio show, Kanye exclaimed, "It's not like we did not know he was going to do us like that. We learned from Jay." The bitterness in which it ended was evident. However, despite the fact that within the next 2-3 years Jay-Z would sign a distribution deal with Atlantic Records, and no current two Roc-A-Fella labels are under the same ownership, Jay-Z and former CEO Diamond Dash would reconcile their differences after Dash having realized the control and income he had lost from being at the helm of Roc-A-Fella. Both speak of an executive position in the future. It is likely they will work together again. Additionally, Jay-Z has used social media as a tool to connect with his fans during today's major public events. During President Obama's re-election campaign, Jay-Z performed at a rally in Ohio and used his Twitter account to hold a Q&A session with his fans, encouraging the younger demographic to become more involved in politics. This connection reached out to his fans on a national level and encouraged political awareness, and a similar event occurred during the airing of the NBA playoffs, where Jay-Z tweeted his opinions with his fans during the games. These engaging activities help reinforce Jay-Z's image and brand, and additionally, Jay-Z now uses social media as an outlet to communicate directly with his fans. In early 2013, Jay-Z held a spontaneous Twitter session, spontaneously responded to fans' tweets and giving varying responses from life advice to his opinions on today's music. This unfiltered and unscripted communication is extremely rare for a figure of Jay-Z's fame, and it endeared him to his fans even more. This model of communication has been effective, and the combined efforts have made Jay-Z's social media a strong and personal outlet for his fans. In today's age, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are major outlets for communication, and Jay-Z has been using these mediums to connect with his fans on a more personal level. Jay-Z does not use social media solely for promotional purposes, and through an interview with Elliot Whistler, he states that I always had a thing about not being too accessible, but I had to separate myself from that and find a medium. Some way, somehow, I had to be more interactive with the people. And it's Twitter, it's unbelievable. Through his posts, Jay-Z has given a rare insight into his personal life, regularly tweeting his musings and using Instagram to post pictures of whatever he finds interesting. This interaction has given fans a greater personal insight into Jay-Z and has made him seem like a more relatable figure, which is completely different from his earlier perception of being too untouchable. This has made fans feel that they are relating directly to Jay-Z and has also made Jay-Z more in touch with today's generation. The meteoric rise of the internet and social networking has changed the way an artist can communicate and interact with the fan base. With the generation of today, it is important for an artist to be in touch with today's trends and have a strong online presence. Jay-Z recognized this early and has been able to use the internet and social media to his advantage. He has been able to effectively use his website, Life and Times, as a base to keep his fans updated on today's culture and his personal endeavors, but it is his interaction through social media that has truly engaged his fan base. Jay-Z, much like his contemporaries, has followed the hip-hop industry standard of developing a close relationship with his fan base. A strong following in hip-hop is the essential backbone to an artist's career, and thus securing a loyal fan base is crucial to an artist's long-term success. As mentioned in previous sections, Jay-Z's adaptability and awareness of cultural trends have kept his music relevant and allowed him to continue to build on his fan base. However, Jay-Z's situational awareness transcends his music, and he has been able to connect with his fans through pop culture and today's technology, reinforcing his brand and image and keeping his fans engaged and feeling personally connected. And that's a wrap on our exploration of Jay-Z's influence and success in the world of hip-hop. His journey, his music, and his impact on the genre are truly remarkable. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Jay-Z's career, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more insights into the music industry. Remember, hip-hop is a dynamic and ever-evolving genre, and artists like Jay-Z are the ones who keep pushing its boundaries. Until next time, keep the music playing and stay tuned for more exciting content.